Today on our show,
they are dropping like flies, or should I say ties, fighters. Thank you.
Glad we waited for that one.
Star Wars Project has lost another director. What's going on out there a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away? We're going to analyze it today right here on Fat Man on Batman.
Who's that in Poison Ivy's garden? It's Kevin Smith and Marc and Kevin. Two Fat Men on Batman.
Welcome to Fat Man on Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Okay, so the other day, a bunch of people were tweeting at me, you should do Star Wars. And I was like, I should, but I didn't know why they were saying that.
Is
and
there
then
Star
I figured
Wars to be
out
done?
why. Yeah, I was like, well, I will. Don't tell me what to do. I'm doing it.
You just wait.
Then I went to find out why they were saying that. It's because they fired another Star Wars director.
They did. Dropping like ties.
They're dropping like ties. They're dropping like fucking guys that control or command the executioner in Empire Strikes Back.
Wow, nice job.
Motherfucker drops, and then they hire somebody else.
Admiral Piet.
Which would make Kathy Kennedy, I guess, Lord Vader. Because this is her fourth firing?
She is force choking motherfuckers like no tomorrow.
Man, she's running things. Now, everyone's like, what? Why is she like this? She's one of the most successful producers on the planet.
Totally.
She must know what she's doing. And she's in charge of the legacy. She's in charge of Star Wars. And so, she's making decisions and cleaning houses.
Mm-hmm. And apparently the latest victim of the house cleaning is Colin Trevorrow.
Now, this is a kid who made one picture, went to Sundance called
Safety Not Guaranteed.
Because the battery's not included. That was a long time ago. Safety Not Guaranteed. And then he got tapped to make Jurassic World, and Jurassic World made a fuck ton of money.
$1.6 billion.
So when they announced, hey, guess who's doing the Star Wars Episode 9, which I was told was the last episode, but now nobody's making any promises about that. So I said, guess who's doing 9? The kid that did Jurassic World. You go, makes sense. That movie made a lot of money and shit, I guess. I would have given 9 to Spielberg or something like that, but they were going a whole different way.
Whatever.
So,
Spielberg had tapped him for Jurassic World.
He likes this kid. He says, I like this kid, Trevorrow. He says, I sees myself in him. I says, let him do Jurassic World, That's what Spielberg says.
Yeah.
So you figured, all right, everything's hunky-dory, everything's going to be great. Then just the other day, the big floppy dick of truth smacks us all across the face, and we find out that another director of a Star Wars movie has been fired. Marc Bernardin, take it away.
Indeed. I will read you from some reports.
And now, Kevin Mark read other people's news. Where's this coming from?
Now the
At least
reading.
give credit where credit's due.
This comes from Vulture.
And now the reading of the news.
A reading from the book of Vulture, chapter 1.
Vulture, hey, I like them. I saw a piece on a director I like very much.
Yeah, I mean,
a profile
I think
they
it
did.
turned out pretty well.
New York Magazine.
That
Vulture.
guy.
Yeah. You like, what's his name? Oh, Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Good
Read
old
about it.
Abe Reisman.
But he did a great job. Abraham he came and watched us do this show.
He did.
When we were at the other place.
He's got really good hair.
Yeah, he's got great fucking hair.
Big shock of red hair.
And he made me read about myself in a way where I was like, I like this guy. And mind you, I like me a lot. I'm the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan. So that's good journalism right there.
There you go.
Meanwhile, over at Vulture, we're pulling this.
Conspiracy Theory A maintains that the Book of Henry, Trevorrow's critically mauled, commercially stillborn art house passion project.
He made a Yoga Hosers this year.
He did. He went for it. And
a dookie. He made a dookie.
He made a dookie. He
and people were not pleased with it.
No.
I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I know you're a filmmaker and you're like, hey, man, I want to make a movie regardless. But, they give me Star Wars, and the last thing I did was Jurassic. I ain't doing anything.
No, shut it down.
Oh, my Lord. The next thing I do is Star Wars. So, it was, he shouldn't be punished for that, but he did make a movie that didn't do much for people, and I guess that's part of the reason they're like,
Yeah, I gave him cold feet, but even more than the cold feet, apparently he is not the easy-goingest director in Hollywood.
Are you kidding?
No, honestly, swear to God.
Hold on one sec. Do it again.
All right, he is not the easy-goingest director in Hollywood.
It's not worth it. That tasted too good.
No, fair enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all the people in the biz, I never would.
Swallow
If
it
somebody
down.
put a gun to my head and they're like, "Who do you think's an asshole?" This kid doesn't even make the top 200 list. Why? Why is he bad guy?
Well, there's an executive who requested anonymity out of concern for sensitive ongoing business relationships.
Very brave.
As one does. Said that during the making of Jurassic
Manny
World...
Bothans died to give us this information.
Really, it did. During the making of Jurassic World, he focused a great deal of his creative energies on asserting his opinion, the executive explains. But because he'd been personally hired by Spielberg, nobody could say, you're fired. Once that film went through the roof and he chose to do Henry, Book of Henry, Trevorrow was unbearable. He had an egotistical point of view, and he was always asserting that. Then, during pre-production on episode 9, Trevorrow's relationship with Lucasfilm top brass became reportedly unmanageable over the course of repeated stabs at multiple drafts of the script.
So he was allowed to write the script as well.
He was going to write the script as well. Although at first, I think the word had been that Rian Johnson was going to write 8 and 9.
Right.
He was going to direct 8. I guess they were hoping that he would also direct 9, but then they gave it to Trevorrow.
Right.
Away it goes. But now that arrangement seems to be fallen by the wayside.
If I had to guess, my feeling is they were like, look, we like what Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi. He's way easy for us to work with. Kathy digs him.
Totally.
Why are we banging our head against a wall? We just fired 2 fucking directors like a minute away from the end of the movie. That's how gangster we are. You don't think we're going to fucking like change our mind about the guy who did Jurassic World? Fuck it. And they dropped him like a hot rock. And I bet Rian Johnson winds up directing.
You think so?
If not, Ron Howard is a certainty.
I think Ron Howard, I mean, if I had to guess, if I had to bet money on it, Ron Howard took the Han Solo job as sort of a, I'll do this for you if you do this for me.
Boy, shucks, I'd really like to direct episode 9 in that Ron Howard-y way.
I mean, I get you're in a lurch. And
I'm on to you, Howard.
I'd like to help you out, but you got to give me something in return.
It's all nice guy up front, but back room,
Oof.
he's a Game of Throners right there. He's a Cersei.
He really is.
And he just fucked everything. He just cocked up this hat, and now he's wearing it. Ron Howard, I know what you're up to, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Tell Cersei I wanted her to know that I killed her child.
I don't think he had any. I mean, I don't know the guy, but I don't think he's the kind of guy that's like, I'll do this if you do this. But I guarantee you, they're like, oh my God, we just brought Ron in. He's fucking crushing it on Han Solo. We never fight with him. He does whatever we want. He does a great job, blah, blah, blah. Why are we banging our heads against the wall? I'm fighting with this kid all the time. Fuck it. Life's too short. Ron Howard it is. I could see that happen.
I mean, I feel like it's definitely an in-house choice. It's either Ryan because he came in on, like, apparently Last Jedi is done, wrapped in a can.
And that's the thing. You don't hear anything about Last Jedi other than, hey, it's coming.
Yeah.
And, hey, there are new toys. But you don't hear shit like, well, they had a problem with the third
We're not
act.
happy. Ooh,
Somebody's
not
sitting
testing
down
well.
while somebody else directs or any of that shit. Like, they're done. They didn't reshoot or anything
Nope.
of that shit.
Like, he seems to be a dude who was happy to play within the lines, happy to color with the colors they told him to color with, happy to color the pattern they told him to color. It's like, I'm going to do a little jagged here. That's fine. That's fine.
What do you think they meant about Colin Trevorrow talking on Jurassic World? He was opinionated.
I mean, I think it was him, probably as a young man, asserting what he thinks is the role of a director is to subdue a crew and press it into service and make sure that everybody knows that he's the creative, wellspring from which all good things flow.
How are you supposed to do this job?
Not if you want to do a Star Wars movie, you're not.
No wonder I'm this asshole and not that asshole. But that asshole's out of job, so maybe it's not bad being this
You're doing
asshole.
all right.
Yeah. Couple assholes not making Star Wars, me and Colin.
Hey.
Same boat.
According to a veteran movie producer who has worked with Kathy Kennedy,
Okay.
there's one gatekeeper when it comes to Star Wars, and it's Kathy.
Double K.
If you rub her the wrong way in any way, you're out. You're done. A lot of these young new directors want to come in and say, I want to do this, I want to do that. A lot of these guys, Lord and Miller, Colin Trevorrow, got very rich very fast and believed a lot of their own hype. And they don't want to play by the rules. They want to do shit differently. And Kathy Kennedy isn't going to fuck around with that.
Bum 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 bum. Fuck you. Bum 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 bum. You're fired. Bum 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 bum. Fuck, man. I gotta tell you, some of the goings on in the making of Star Wars,
Oh, man.
almost as galactic and epic as the events we see on the fucking screen.
There have almost been more fired directors of Star Wars movies than there have been Star Wars movies.
She is literally just Darth Vader snapping a fucking lightsaber on in a dark hallway and choking motherfuckers and cutting them over her head, dicing and slicing, julienne frying.
Yep.
The directoring community. Now, there are 2 schools of thought on this. Hey, man, Star Wars is her. She gets to do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And that's what she's put in charge. It's hers. She's doing great. She obviously knows what she's doing. But then there's another school of thought that's like, you don't hire a director and then fucking harness the director. But in these movies, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Honestly, these movies occur to me the same way that Supergirl. I just came off of, it's not a Colin Trevorrow. I'm directing Star Wars Episode 9, Dick, but I've directed Supergirl. a few times. And I was just up there recently. You know what would suck for everybody involved? Actors, crew, the producers down in Los Angeles, CW, the network. If I went in and started telling people, you know what my opinion is? This whole motherfucker should be one take, black and white, a lot of cocksuck talk. Like, they'd be like, dude, that ain't the fucking show. You go into somebody's already existing thing, you got to make their thing. Like, it's that simple. Like, you don't go to Star Wars going like, I got a vision. They had that vision back in 77, and all they want to do is make that vision today. Same vision they've been having for a long time. So you come into that place, you're not being invited in because they're like, we think you've got brilliant ideas. They're like, you got a name. We like what you did and stuff like that. But when you come here, you're playing by different rules. You can't walk in there and expect to be who you were when you made your film for them.
I mean, it's like if you want to go in and write Superman.
Me, like, I don't fucking know. If I'm Colin Trevorrow right now watching this, I'm like, fuck you, Silent Bill. Like, you even know what goes on in Star Wars, you fat piece of shit. Well, I would suggest you watch Book of Henry and calm down.
Whew. I mean, you've written creator-owned books before. You've written company-owned books before. There's a bunch of shit you can do if you're writing Green Arrow that has to follow the rules.
Yes.
It's like, this character has to do A, B, and C. Like, you've got creativity within the boundaries.
Yes.
But there are boundaries. This is work for hire. This is not you're coming in to execute your own creative vision. It's somebody else's vision that you're being hired to execute.
Very true. And also, let's be fair. We read an article that was in Vulture of some cat, won't even give his name, going like, this guy's an asshole. So nobody knows. Maybe he's a fucking Prince Valiant. He's a righteous fucking dude and stuff like that.
Maybe he just had a very, very strict belief on what he thought this movie should be, and it conflicted with the boss, and that's the way that cookie crumbles. Again, they're not going to choose you over her.
And you know what? It don't kill you to get kicked off a Star Wars film. Like, Lord Miller going to be fine. Josh Trank was kicked off a Star Wars film that didn't even exist yet. He's off directing Tom Hardy in a movie right now. So everything's coming up Millhouse for Colin Trevorrow. Trevorrow. I love that Jurassic World movie. And a lot of people gave me shit about that too. I was like, I fucking love it. Oh my God, it reminds me of my childhood. And people were like, fuck you, it's a rehash and blah, blah, blah. That's why I thought he was a great choice for episode 9. It's like, all right, this guy reverently dealt with, the franchise existed before him and stuff. Shit didn't work out.
I mean, and I think, we talked about it before. I think Ron Howard is a good choice. I think Ryan Johnson would be a great choice. I think Ava DuVernay would be a great choice.
We were talking about it. We were texting back and forth going, who would you do? Who would you do? Tell them why you think Ava would be a great choice. I stole your choice when I tweeted the other day. I was like, yeah, I'm going to drop this Ava.
So good. But yeah, she's wrapping. She's finishing post-production on Wrinkle of Time. Disney is very happy with it.
And the testing is huge.
The testing is huge. It's through the roof.
And people for years have been saying, why not a woman directing Star Wars?
Kathy has come under a little bit of flack for, out of all these movies she's had to find directors for, she's never tapped a woman for it. She is an incredibly attractive choice on almost every one of those value scales.
A lot of boxes get ticked.
So
that's a great choice right there.
She's really good at her job.
I went lame and said, of course, James Gunn, who I'm a big fan of those Guardians movies, which have the shit. They're like Star Wars on sugar, just like fun. I also suggested Steven Spielberg because why not? Like, heavens, like, he's been around since this all started and stuff. Ever on the outskirts, but why not give him one? And then I said, or why not let Lucas finish off his epic? And the internet
not so much
put a big fat dick in my mouth. They were like, are you crazy? 3 reasons. Jar Jar begs. They kept saying and stuff. Yeah. So a lot of people were against the idea. I don't know. I felt like the idea of somebody tweeted like, ooh, I get it. Redemption narrative. And I was like, yeah. Like, after everyone gave him shit about those last 3, if he makes 9 and it fucking crushed and stuff, all's forgiven. But whatever. People don't want to see that. It's crazy, dude. A lot of people are like, he had his chance. And it's like, he made that shit.
He did?
Like, he had his chance. It's so weird when the audience thinks they control the thing.
It's got to be a little weird, though. Like, not to say he got fired from his job, but he abdicated the throne and would then show up as like a minor duke. To be like,
would he be a minor duke, though? He'd be the one guy that, like, Kathy Kennedy would be like, do what you want, carte blanche.
Although, if Kathy Kennedy would have to fire George Lucas, clearly she's a firing lady.
Then you shoot that, because that's Star Wars right there. 2 big stars having a big old war.
I mean, it would be delicious to have to talk about, but I can't even imagine for a second that George puts himself in those crosshairs.
How often do you think this used to happen? We just didn't hear about it.
I mean, I'm not going to say all the time because there were not superstar directors.
Well, think about it. Richard Donner was kicked off of Superman 2, right?
Yeah,
They had somebody else finish.
It happens a handful of times, but like not at this rate of regularity.
Well, they spent how much buying it? $4 billion buying Star Wars, so they got to make all that money back. And I can't believe they haven't done that already at this point.
Yeah, I think it's done all right.
So that's what they want to do, and that's what they're going to do.
News. That's what they want, so let them have it.
That's what it looks like from the outside. We don't know shit about shit. I got no inside scoop. I wish. I have nobody and shit. So we're just two guys from the outside fucking reading Vulture and casting conjecture.
That's what we do, you guys.
I feel bad for Colin Trevorrow. I feel bad for anybody who gets fucking fired high profile like that.
Yeah,
and shit.
it ain't no joke.
Especially because, like, the machine seems to go right into work and people are like, well, you know, that guy, he was rough. And I'd never heard anything like that before. But to be fair, I don't really have my ear to the ground going, who's tough in this business?
Who are the Hollywood assholes?
Yeah, I spend most of my time trying not to be a Hollywood asshole, so I'm not trying to find out who is the. Also, shit's way above my pay grade. I'm a guy who watches Star Wars, man. They don't even let me in on these conversations. So we don't know shit about shit, but
No.
my heart goes out to Colin Trevorrow. It fucking sucks to get fired from any job, let alone one where everyone's like, hey, man.
Good on you. You got a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And everybody knows.
And then fucking a year later, they're like, hey, man.
Yeah, shit, dude. Sorry about that.
You want to talk about it? Like this, he's got to carry this like luggage for the next like year and shit. And when the movie comes out,
Could have been yours.
What are Lord and Miller doing next? Do they know yet?
They haven't announced it yet.
I hope it's huge.
There's talk of, going back to The Flash. Yeah. Which they could.
That would make me happy. All right, there you got. There you got it, folks. Can't say anything more about the situation because we really don't know anything.
No. I mean, we can make some more shit up, but do you really need that? It's the internet. Plenty of people are making shit up.
There's conjecture elsewhere. Here's where you get the facts, and we pull our facts from Vulture.
And the internet.
Yeah. So there it is. Again, we don't know if Colin Trevorrow is a good guy or not. Look, I'm relatively sure he's killed no one, so that makes him a relatively good guy.
As far as I know.
But unfortunately, he ain't going to direct Star Wars.
Nope. No Galaxy Far, Far Away.
Do you know what I'm doing today in honor of poor Colin Trevorrow?
What are you doing?
I'm watching Book of Henry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, fuck it.
Somebody should.
That was a real Stan and Ollie moment. And there's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Yeah, man. Well, look, everybody gets a Yo-Gozers. That was his. Unfortunately, he fucked with his chance to do Star Wars.
Whoops.
Yipes. So I'm going to watch that movie. Everybody, if you feel bad for this poor kid, lost a movie and shit, check out his Book of Henry, isn't it?
Book of Henry. Not Book of Eli. That's actually not half bad.
That was with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I might watch that, too.
You should do that.
It's going to be a Book of day. I'm watching a Book of double feature.
Booking it.
Booking it, man.
Nice.
All right, there it is. We're done talking about other people's problems. Back to our own. Thanks for hanging out with us here in the Fat Cave, ladies and gentlemen. For Fat Man on Batman, I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Come in next episode. Come on in next episode. We'll save a seat for you here at the
Won't you be our neighbor?
Same fat time, same fat channel, Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.